47 days without internet. That is the only number you keep hearing in this post. 47 goddamn days, man. No! Bastard! Hello internet, I did a review video a couple of months ago regarding Philippine internet providers. And when I got the PLDT, I was actually quite complimentary.
Basically, for reliability, for how is it with the line, PLDT does quite well, in fairness to them.
And I don't know if somebody from PLDT watched my video or somebody up there just hates me, but shortly after I made that review video, my own PLDT Fiber internet line went down. So this happened early December 2018, December 6th, and it took PLDT 47 days. 47 days to restore my internet connection. Wala pang Pasko, lampas na yung Pasko, lampas na yung bagong taon, malapit na yung Chinese New Year, and still no goddamn internet. Basically what happened when we finally figured it out, when a repair guy finally came, there was a break in the fiber line outside my house, so I had nothing to do with it. I did not monkey around with the modem, I did not crinkle up the wires causing a break or anything like that. There was a break outside my house, and that was the reason why I had no internet for 6 weeks. So let's break it down by the numbers. That's 47 days without internet for around 6 weeks. That fiber line was actually quite new. I only got it in September 2018. The very next day that they repaired it, I canceled the subscription, so I had that line for 125 days. And out of those 125 days, 47 of those days, the internet and the landline was down. Therefore, that's downtime of 37%. Really ridiculous downtime, really crappy service on the part of PLDT. And it took me 6 calls to PLDT customer service. I did not call every day. In fact, I would think I was quite patient. I was trying to give them time to work it out on their own. So PLDT, like a lot of the other telco providers or even Sky Cable or other utilities, when you call them for support, they ask you to input your account number or customer number or things like that. But it always drives me insane after you've done that. So you're at the robo prompt and you key in your account number. When you finally get a person on the line, the person asks you for the exact same thing.
Hey, can you repeat the part of the stuff where you said all about the things? The things?
Sir, can I have your account number? And I'm like, why the hell do you need my account number if I already keyed it in before we started this call? Why ask that information if you're just gonna ask me to repeat it later on? And it really drives me insane. So I asked one of the PLDT guys I talked to why they asked that. Why is the procedure like that? And he was like, for security. For security. I won't even come up with some imaginary justification how PLDT or the subscriber is more secure if you input your account number before the customer service gets to you, and when the CS finally gets to you, they ask you for your account number again. Do I feel more secure? No. Do I feel more frustrated just from the get-go because it's such a stupid procedure? Yes. And the stupidity doesn't end there. For PLDT at least, they ask you for your account number, you give it, and they make a service order, a service request, so that's filed under your account number. The problem is, every time afterwards, so, you know, my problem didn't get resolved after the first time I called customer service, so I had a reference number. They told me I could call back and follow up. And good thing I followed up because, again, I had to follow up 6 times before I finally got my internet restored. The problem is, now that you have a reference number saved with them, an active reference number, every time you put in your own account number, you won't get a person, you won't get a customer service representative. you will just get an automated response from the PLDT system saying that, yes, we know you have an active reference number and here is the status. Still working, you are in the list, etc., etc. So you can't really follow up, you can't pester somebody, you can't bother somebody at PLDT and tell them that, it's been 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 47 days that I have no internet. Once your reference number is saved under your account number, there is no way you can get a real person on the line. And so of course you're asking, how did I do it? How did I manage to get customer service? Fortunately, as you know, if you've seen my last video regarding internet providers, we have a bunch of different lines from PLDT because of my business. And so I had to use a different account number. Still under my name, but I had to use a different account number. And when I finally got a customer service representative on the line, that's when I said, this line is fine, this is the line with the problem, tell me what you're doing about it. And it got so irritating because all of my other lines are not fiber, and the fiber service is separate from the regular DSL service. One of the customer service representatives, he was like, you're right, there's no way that you can get a human on the phone with your current account number. And here, I will give you the account number of somebody else. I will give you a clean account number. I think it might have been his own actually, I'm not sure. You can use this number when you call up PLDT so that it will scan as, okay, this account does not have any existing reference numbers, service requests saved to it. And that will send you to a human person. And then you can tell the human person that this line, this number I used initially is fine, but this is the real number with the problem. So how crazy is that? That a PLDT service representative had to give me a clean account number just so that I could follow up with the proper account number, my own account number, and say that, hey, it's been so long since I've had internet. What's going on? And of course, whenever you're online with PLDT, you're talking to their customer service representative, they're always very, very sorry. We're so sorry this has happened to you. We're doing everything we can. You're on the priority list to get things repaired. Over and over again, I heard that priority list message. I spoke to them so many times over the course of 47 days that I've already memorized how their CS service works, how it gets shuttled from the initial point of contact, the CSR, to the technical group inside internally, and why they can't give you the number of the technician. And it's Byzantine, it's crazy, it's super frustrating. Another excuse or reason that they kept giving me for the downtime and why they couldn't repair it right away was that there was a lack of technicians. And it's true, if you go back to the news reports around that time, PLDT was having a labor dispute or something. It's possible that there were some issues with third-party contractors or technicians, but that's still bullshit. Because on December 14, that is 8 days after my internet went down, I found a PLDT truck parked right outside my house, and I was super excited. I'm like, oh my god, my internet's going to get repaired. It's only been 8 days. Only 8 days since the internet went down. And that's not so bad, PLDT. 8 days, okay, sige, pwede na yan. I was super happy to see that goddamn PLDT truck outside my house. So, I go up to the guy, I go up to the driver, I'm like, are you here to fix? Insert my house address, my internet's down. And he looks at me, and he says na, hindi sir, kakabitan namin yung internet ng kapitbahay mo. And he points down the street to my neighbor. And I'm like, what the How can there be a technician shortage if they are still installing internet, fiber internet, at the same street as my house, at my neighbor's place? And, I kept hearing that. There's nobody that can fix your line because there's a technician shortage. And I kept bringing it up. I'm like, here's the picture of the PLDT truck right outside my house. He told me my neighbor is getting a line installed, the fiber line. So, if there are technicians to install lines, why aren't there enough technicians to repair lines? Simple answer, because PLDT cares more about getting new subscribers than repairing or catering to the needs of their existing subscribers. And sure, you might think, well, that's how business works, you know, what did you expect? You must be a moron to think that PLDT cares more about an existing subscriber rather than getting new subscribers. And I'm like, that's BS, man.
French fries. This stinks! It's a total BS!
Think about it. PLDT is a telecommunications provider, which means that aside from their many landlines scattered all across the country and their many internet gateways and all of the money they can spend on marketing, and you know, it's a really gigantic, humongous company. My point is PLDT has resources, man. Resources.
Not enough minerals.
If your fiber subscriber does not have internet, then you know what? Oh my gosh, you also own Smart. You can give that poor son of a bitch who has been suffering 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks without internet. Why don't you give him a mobile data plan and say that, you know, we're super sorry, you're paying for fiber internet speeds at 50 Mbps, but it's down and we can't fix it, but here, we want to make it up to you somehow by giving you this mobile internet that's super easy for PLDT to do. And I told the CSR people, I'm like, don't you guys also own Smart? You imagine how many millions, billions, whatever, trillion amount of pesos are you making? Can you not just give me something to tide me over? Can you not just give me a mobile data hotspot? And the CSR people were like, you know, we can't commit to that, sir. And we can't do that. We can't do that for you. Yes, we know you've been waiting 10, 20, 30, 40, 47 days without internet. But we're very sorry. Super sorry this is happening to you. But even though it's very much within our power to fix this, or to at least give you something to make it less terrible, we can't do that. And when I finally went over to the PLDT main office in Makati, the Roman Coangco building on Ayala Avenue, when I terminated my line, I told the girl I spoke to, finally I was talking to PLDT, someone from PLDT face to face, and like, you know, you guys have so many resources at your disposal. You own Smart, for God's sakes. Why couldn't you just give me a mobile hotspot? Think of something. Think of a way to make this easier for your subscriber.
In coming up with these new offerings, we went back to the most important person in our business. To the most important person, to the most important person, to the most important person, our customer.
And the girl was like, oh, you know, if you had gone to us here at the Roman Coangco building, we would have given you a mobile hotspot. I'm like, bullshit. Bullshit. I called up your CSR, I multiple times asked them, can I get a mobile hotspot? I'm willing to go to the Roman Coangco building. All the CSRs on the phone were like, no, we can't do that. But when I brought it up with the CSR person in person at the Coangco building, she said, oh yeah, we could have done that for you. Right. Bullshit. And my goal in going to the Coangco building was to, one, get a rebate for the 47 days that I had no service. And number two was to cancel my line without paying the lock-in period. Now that's very important. If you'll remember, I got my line in September 2018 and I was canceling it already in January 2019. So usually most telcos, PLDT included, have what they call a lock-in period, where if you cancel the service before 2 years, let's say, you're gonna have to pay a penalty amount. And I was like, hell no. I went 47 days without internet, no one got back to me, PLDT service is ridiculous. I am not going to pay the penalty for canceling this stupid internet subscription. I had already prepared my letters. These are my documents saying that this is my reference number. I was calling your service hotline. I went 47 days without internet, and here's everything in writing, and I want these two things. I want a rebate for the time that the service was down, and number two, I want to cancel the service without paying the lock-in period violation penalty. I got to the CS person promptly. I explained the situation. I gave her my letter. And to be honest, I'm sort of curious. Will she honor my request not to pay the penalty? And was I ready to get upset? Yes, I was super ready to get upset. Imagine 47 days without internet. But as you should approach all these kind of things, you keep your cool first. And so I was very relaxed. I had prepared all the documents, all the written things were there for them. And I was just waiting, you know. Present yourself as a reasonable person. Explain what PLDT did to you. Explain why you want your remedy, meaning no payment of the penalty clause as well as a rebate. And if they are unreasonable, then you can be also a little unreasonable. The CS person listens to me. She looks at my letter. She says, I need to get this approved in the back, and she disappears. And 5 minutes later or so, she comes back and tells me that both my requests have been approved. So, to be fair, at the end of the day, PLDT did not fight me for the penalty clause. And at the end of 47 days of without internet, perhaps that's the only nice thing PLDT, the only decent thing PLDT did for me, and I'm happy to share that. That when faced with the enormity of their screw up, they said, you know, that's right, okay, let's not pursue this matter anymore. Yes, he's canceling before the end of the lock-in period, but you know, we did kind of screw him over with 6 weeks of no internet and he had to keep calling and things like that. So, if you're looking for a way to get out of your lock-in period, there it is. Go 47 days without internet, write a decent letter explaining the situation, and perhaps PLDT will not enforce the penalty clause. And really, the nerve, man, the nerve, if they decided to enforce that penalty clause. I've included the letter in the links below in case you would like to use it for whatever purpose it may serve. Of course, you need to edit the details, put in your own reference number, and change the details and things like that. But I'm more than happy to make that available to you guys online if it will help you out in a similar situation. Actually, PLDT was taking so long that I contacted another provider that had fiber in the area. I wanted Globe, but Globe did not have fiber in my area, so I finally settled on Converge. And Converge, from the time I spoke to Converge and the time they installed it, PLDT still had not fixed my line. Can you imagine? I had enough time to call up another provider, process their paperwork, and they installed the line. And after all of that, PLDT still had not fixed my line. So actually, the last few weeks or so, I already had internet at my place, but I just really wanted to see how long it would take PLDT to repair my line. That's why when they did repair it, experiment over, the very next day, I terminated it. Actually, my experience isn't even that bad. I was talking with one of the customer service reps, one of the 6 or 8 or so that I spoke to on the phone over the course of the 47 days. And I asked her, ma'am, in your experience, what's the longest service request you've handled? Like, from the point that the service went down up to the point that it was restored, how long did that take? And according to that CS person I spoke to, she handled a case where the service went out in July and it was restored in October. So that's July, August, September, October. 4 friggin' months that poor PLDT subscriber waited to finally get service restoration back. That is crazy. At least I only had 6 weeks. That was with constant, semi-constant follow-ups, 47 days. And, you know, again, I like PLDT service. How is Converge now? Converge is okay. It's reliable. It hasn't gone down on me. But there is noticeable latency when I play my online games such as Overwatch, which I did not experience in PLDT. Sometimes also the service suddenly drops. Like for a split second, it drops and you'll get that notice on your desktop that, oh, you know, you have no internet, then the service will come up again. So Converge is not as reliable as PLDT. But I will never, ever, ever in my entire life, God willing, that's still a long span of time, I will never go back to PLDT. I will never get them for my apartments, the other business I have. I will never get a smart line. I do actually have an existing smart line again for the business, but that's it. We do have existing PLDT lines for the business. I have not canceled those, but I will never get a new line. And damn PLDT. Too little, too late, and you don't care.
We went back to the most important person in our business, our customer.
After 47 days, I am at a loss of how to conclude this video. You know, the emotions you feel, exasperation, anger. Actually, my joke was, I went through all the stages of grief. If you're familiar with those stages, if somebody close to you, dies, or supposedly the survivor goes through stages of grief. There's anger, and don't take my word for it, you Google the exact steps, but I believe there's anger, rejection or denial, frustration, depression, and then acceptance. Those are roughly the steps, and I went through all of those steps. Anger, frustration, depression, and finally acceptance that PLDT does not care, does not give a damn about any of its subscribers, is chasing new subscribers over prioritizing the needs of their existing subscribers, and basically, they just don't give a damn. But, so that we can end it on a happy note, you know who does give a damn? Hardware Sugar. And I will plug my own business. Hardware Sugar is a PC shop here in the Philippines, and our goal is to make things less difficult, easy for the customer. We want to eliminate all of the pain points that you have in buying computer parts, whether that's an inventory list that is not up to date, whether that is shoddy pricing, whether that is warranty. We take all of the frustrations you have with buying computer parts here in the Philippines, and we try to get rid of them. And if you don't believe us, try us out. You can contact us here on YouTube if you're looking for a PC part, we're super easy to find online on Facebook or on Lazada. And because we are PC component fans before we put up the business, we are gamers and we like setting up our own rigs. And actually, my thing about business here in the Philippines, there's really a lot of frustration. It's like any business, PLDT, name a business, and most likely Cebu Pacific, PAL, all of those big companies, and even the little guys. Everybody, like, you go on Tipid PC, a lot of them are these kind of shoddy, kind of like they don't give a damn about you, they just want you to buy their product, and I hate that. I hate being a customer and not being taken care of. So we put up Hardware Sugar. If you're looking for PC parts, do check us out. If you're considering PLDT as your internet service provider, you can consider them, but good luck.